How you doing, Kenny? Hodorino, Devil's Digest. When you look at the game plan that went into the Iowa State game, was it easier or harder to do a game plan that in some ways really deviated what you've done so far in the last couple of years with Sam at quarterback?
It's just different. And there's a lot of things that, Jeff did that we do with Sam. I mean, early in the game, throwing a float against Corner Cat and, throwing the ball down the field to Jay Moss, converting a third down versus man on an over route. He did a lot of things that have been in the plan that he's been repping, all year. That's defensive scheme is a little bit different than most defensive schemes. So you just got to attack it a little bit different.
Chris Cartman, Nova Source. Kenny, the interesting thing to me is just like the evolution of college football, how it just keeps moving and changing always. And there are a bunch of other teams that are doing a lot of the same QB run stuff, and you've played some of them. And in this salary cap era or the rev share era, whatever you want to call it, like schools are going to have decisions about how they build their teams. So what are your thoughts about that type of style, like having a
Yeah, at the end of the day, running the quarterback, you look at Utah right now and the triple option premise that they have, winning a lot of games, scoring a lot of points. You look at Vanderbilt right now with that style of play. Houston, when they beat us, I think it was 20 or 19 quarterback runs. There's so many different ways to win in college football. I think you got to figure out your own team and where you fit in that, what personnel you can get around a quarterback and derive the best plan. But there's so many different ways, to win, and there's strengths and weaknesses to every choice that you make, too, and every decision you make. So I think, there's a lot of ways to win. I think in this era, people kind of get to pick and choose their own route a little bit more.
Do you think that coaches tend to utilize the schemes and styles that they come up with, or do people that you've known really adapt a lot, through their careers?
I think the best guys steal a lot of stuff. They're not scared to steal a lot of stuff. I think if you've come up with everything in your offense by yourself, it's probably not very good. So I think the best people, are willing to steal things, are willing to take things from other people, and then only take things that actually fit in what you do, not just take something because it was cool to watch, take something because it solves a need or answers a problem or answers a question to, what you're trying to find.
Hey, Kenny, Blake Neiman, Fox 10 News. You kind of touched on it post-game, but could you kind of just further elaborate on the decision to give the guys the week off this week?
Yeah, a week off of football. They're still coming in and lifting and running and getting rehab and stuff like that this week. But yeah, I just think that getting away from the game, similar to last year, even before the Peach Bowl, we gave them a week off, which most people, don't do. I just feel like sometimes you just need to get away, and that the greatest, the hardest thing you can do sometimes is to let go. And I think the ability to let go for a few days and then come back on Sunday and / Monday and get back to work on Monday a day early and rock and roll, because we got a really good West Virginia team that just beat Houston and had their best offensive performance. So we got to be able to get an extra day to get ready for them.
Hey, Kenny, Kevin Hicks, ASU on SI. Do you believe that the bye week will lend an opportunity for any guys to make a return against West Virginia?
I think Prince Dorba has a really good shot. I think Tate Robney has a really good shot to return in those two games. We're still, X is working his butt off to try to get back, whether that's West Virginia. He's doing everything he can to get back. JT's doing everything he can to get back. His timeline's probably more Colorado, from where his injury was. It's probably trending more to have a chance at that one. But he's doing everything he can to get back. So I don't want to leave anybody else out. But I think for the most part, those are the guys that would potentially have a chance to get back. No, Sip's probably going to be out for the year. That's just not trending in a, he's doing everything he can to get back to. It's just not trending in a direction for him to return this year.
Doug Franz Unplugged podcast, kind of bye-week questions.
He's still good, but I'm just, he's not trending in that direction.
What do you love about the 25 ASU football season so far?
I love our resilience. I love the resilience of these guys to bounce back and fight back. And when, the glass is empty, we fill it back up. Hopefully we just don't empty it out again, because we're good at doing both. So I just love the resilience of this team. I love how they care about each other, the fight the way we compete for one another. I think it shows, and that's probably the number one takeaway.
What's driving you bat blank crazy?
Not scoring in the red zone, penalties. Those two things.
And lastly, I think this is a dumb question 10 years ago, but it's kind of relevant nowadays. When do you talk to Sam about the 2026 NFL draft, the chance to transfer or the chance to stay with you, and all those things that you would never talk about before? But in the era that you got to recruit your own players, when do you have that talk?
Yeah, I said during the bye, I think on the radio, but I'll probably give him, he's got to get surgery, he's got to take care of himself. I'll probably give him a couple weeks and, let him get through this. We're not in a rush. I want him to make the best decision for him in terms of whether to go pro or not, and what him and his team believe are the best decision for him. That's why I do this. So, give him some time to get healthy and get surgery done with and get back around the team and get his head, back in a good direction of progress. And then we'll have that conversation just like most of our guys, right after the season or right around then.
Hey, Coach. Logan Stanley, Arizona Republic. I know that you and Marcus have expressed confidence in Jeff, but how important for the psyche of the team to get a win, knowing that Jeff can actually get one now for the team?
Yeah, I think everybody knew Jeff could get one leading up to it. I don't think there was ever a doubt from our team there. But I think that was that was only his second game with full prep that he started for us. And our team's got a lot of confidence in Jeff. Jeff's won a lot of football games in college football. So I think that was, our guys were fired up with how good he played, and how much passion he played with, and his demeanor being calm the entire game through the good and the bad. And I think our guys really rallied behind that.
Hey, Kenny, Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. This time last year when you hit your second bye, you really said quite a few times, Kyson Brown needs to see a bigger role. We need to get, work in more plays for him, that sort of thing. And we saw his role expand back, portion of the season. Is there anybody that's fitting that bill right now for you?
And to be honest, most of those guys have a role right now due to the injury situation. And most of those guys are playing for us, whether it's more on special teams or whatever. We've really, played quite a bit of guys from that perspective. So I don't really have a specific guy like that this year that's like just, banging on my door. I feel like that we have to make a drastic change.
Coach Damon Allred, Arizona Sports. With adjusting the offense around that quarterback power run game, is that something that you and Marcus Arroyo have had experience with in the past, or was it kind of new, centralizing it this much?
Yeah, definitely somewhat new. I mean, I've done it a few times. I think in college, usually you have a little bit of that. You carry, not as much us. We haven't been as quarterback direct run oriented the last really 3 years here, 2 years here. But usually in my past, we've had a couple, plays a game where it's got to have them's, whether it's wildcat or whether it's quarterback direct. On the road, it's a little harder to go wildcat with cadences and being loud, and you have to have a certain type of guy that's good at that fits the wildcat. And Sip was our wildcat guy, and he's been out, so that was kind of taken away. So I just think it was just a byproduct of where we're at as a football team.
And then quick follow-up, what will the week off look like specifically on your end?
I accidentally woke. I thought it was 5:15 and it was 4:15, so I drove into the office way too early. I got to the office, I'm like, oh, it's still 4:50. So that sucked. I don't know how that happened, or I was just in like robot mode and got up here. So this week today is a lot of administrative stuff that I have to do. I have to go to all the meetings that I kind of push back for the bye week and do a lot of that stuff. Tomorrow's a lot of opponent prep and self-scout, and our staff's doing self-scout and opponent prep for West Virginia. And then Thursday I'll be locally recruiting. Friday I'll be locally recruiting. And then Sunday we'll be back in early in the morning and, start our game week for West Virginia.
Hey, Kenny. Max Peter, Walter Crockett Sports Network. Hope you guys traveled well back from Iowa. What about, because obviously there was so much attention about Jeff after Saturday, but the defensive performance, particularly in the second half, was probably very much overlooked, especially by a lot of people on social media. Jordan's interception, Keith's plays that he was able to make in that second half, Watley, of course, with the sack, Fight, others. What can you say about maybe the defensive players who've been able to step up necessarily in this, and not only in the second half, but just in the last couple of weeks after, especially what happened with Houston and maybe the inefficiency that happened in that week?
Yeah, Watley played great. That could have been his best game as a Sun Devil. Like, looking back, we ended up putting a game ball. After I watched the tape on Saturday night and Sunday morning, we put a game ball in his locker because that was a guy that after I watched it, I felt like deserved a game ball. So I made sure we put one in his locker because he played probably his best game, could be his best game as a Sun Devil. I think those guys are just playing together really well. Montana going in there for Ghost and starting at boundary safety for his first time and, played really, really, really good. So, and then Ghost coming in the second half and bringing a different level of energy. I mean, I think when everybody's on the same page, I think we're playing good defense. And it definitely gets overlooked, at times, but we're playing, really, really good defense, really good run defense, and it was good complementary football.
And speaking back to Doug's question involving the NFL draft, obviously you've addressed a lot about involving JT, but someone you haven't really addressed a lot about involving that, though, is Keith. And considering how high he's been rising among people, scouts and that sort of thing, for you, how has Keith been able to continually consistently perform week in and week out and almost seem to be overlooked when it comes to the rest of the defense?
Yeah, I don't know if he's overlooked. I mean, like you said, he's on all these lists. We're talking about him every week. And he's consistent. I think when you say consistently perform, he's consistently preparing. I think he's found a system of what it takes to be successful, and he just has to continue to do that system. He's in a rhythm of what it takes. And it's super cool to see a kid who, we were his biggest offer coming out of high school, 2 weeks into having the job. And we get him here, he commits, and, ranked nothing. And now all of a sudden he's a third year and he's on draft boards and he's going to get to make a decision on, does he want to go pro or come back? I mean, that's an awesome situation to be in going into, for a third year kid who everybody counted out coming out of high school.
Kenny, earlier today, the offensive line received Big 12 honors. Do you think it really was their best performance of the year? And, after going through somewhat of a rough October, what do you think was different last Saturday?
Yeah, I think, October we faced really good teams. And when you face really good teams, if you don't play great, it doesn't go good at all. And I think we had a really hard schedule. And we didn't play our best football on top of having a hard schedule, and that's not a good combination. But I think it probably was their best game. I mean, Iowa State was moving the football all year productively, and I think during the football game, for the most part, other than some of the turnovers and the short fields, our defense did a really good job stopping them. And so I was super proud with how those guys played. Oh. I thought our defensive line played great. Yeah, phenomenal. Offensive-wise, we gave up 0 sacks, and we almost rushed for 300 yards. So that's good. I wish we could do that every week. It'd be awesome.
Hey, Kenny, when you're down Jordan and Sam like last week, just what was your kind of sense of the team in the locker room, the vibe heading into the game, and how they just bonded together and really stepped up to get a huge win for the program?
Yeah, confident, and everybody knew we were going to have to play hard, play with a passion, play with a purpose, for 60 minutes. And I think you could feel the energy. If you were at the game, you could feel the energy from our sideline. If you watched on TV, I think you could feel the energy and the excitement of our players when they made a play. And I think that's what you want. You want a team on the edge of, that passion and the purpose for playing. And I think our guys played with that passion. I think they played inspired football. And it's amazing how simple this game is. When you play just as hard as you can for as long as you can, You can make mistakes. You can have 11 penalties for 115 yards or whatever that was, which is horrible, right, wrong, or indifferent. You can lose the turnover battle 3-1, but for some reason, like the thing that can't be judged is the passion and the purpose when you play the game. And when our guys play with that passion and purpose, we win a lot of football games. And we got to clean up that other stuff. That starts with me. But the passion and the purpose that they played with, it leads to a lot of victories.
And what was it like to see a bunch of different guys step up to meet the moment, like Jalen Moss maybe having his best game as a Sun Devil, Shimon Mateer continuing what he was doing, Raleek having a really good blocking game in the backfield, just seeing a lot of different guys meet the moment?
Yeah, I told the guys, like, if you're not ready to do whatever it takes to get a win, if you're not ready to get into a dogfight, it's going to be 60 minutes, and the team that lasts the longest is going to win. And we're going to run the football, we're going to stop the run, and it's going to get ugly. And if you're not ready to be in that type of game, just stay here, rest up, and we'll be good to go. And I wanted guys to be there that were ready for that style of the game, because that's what I thought it was going to take in order to win.
Thanks. Logan and Kevin, help me out. Did Sims win Player of the Week, AP National Player? Coach, can you speak to your quarterback winning Player of the Week nationally? What's the meaning of the program?
When did he win? Did he just win it? Like in the last hour or something? Well, awesome. That's great. You know what? I think I did. Yeah. I didn't know that was the national. Well, that's awesome. That's so cool for him. I mean, he's everything that's right with college football. Such a great person to stay here for his teammates and to be able to get that opportunity and to win that game. I mean, that's such a cool thing for him. I'll remember that forever. That game, I think he earned a lot of respect, not just, in our locker room, but nationally with just, how he played and how he carried himself. Post game, you really got to see a little bit behind the scenes of Jeff.
And the other is, you mentioned earlier that the best ones borrow, they steal from others, right? I know exactly what you mean. Peter King wrote this story about 25 years ago. I've been looking for a chance to write that same type of story ever since I read it. I know exactly what you mean. Who are some of your influences, the coaches that you like to steal from most?
Yeah, I think it just depends on what you're stealing. I think you have to, what do certain teams do better than others? If you're looking for something creative or offensively or some sort of GT counter world, like you're probably going to go to Lincoln Riley and see, okay, what is he doing from 21 personnel? What is he doing in the GT counter world that's unique, whether it's screens, because gap scheme so I think everything that you're looking for, there's somebody who does it better than most. And I think whether it's culture, whether it's creating an identity, whether it's defense, whether it's zone pressures, I think it's finding out who does those things the best and going to study those guys, because nobody's a master of all. You're not going to be able to go to one staff and study with one staff, and that staff's not the best at everything. Just like we're not the best at everything. So I think the ability to go and really find who does what really well and then try to steal those things.
Hey, Kenny, how have you seen CJ evolve from this freshman contributor to, somebody who is such an influence on and off the field for this program?
Yeah, he's so much more confident. Like, he speaks. When CJ got here, he didn't speak. He just worked out, put up 550, and then would go about his way. Now he leads, he speaks, he jokes around, he goes to events in the community. He's really comfortable here. And it's really cool to see a kid that, was shy, was from, East Texas, and now he's in a big city, and now he's comfortable here and embracing it, and he's one of the leaders of our football team. He's really grown up as a person here, and I think that's really cool to see him do that. I mean, he gets fiery on the field. He's always done that. They threw him to the ground after a field goal. They didn't throw the flag, and he, was pissed. And, that's great. He's allowed to be mad. And he used to never get mad. Now he's learning what it takes, and he's learning that he can be himself, and it's such a cool thing to watch him just, kind of mature and grow up as a man, and it's really cool to see.
Hey, Coach. Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. And that's never a good thing when a guy as good as JT gets injured, but seeing guys like Malik and Shimon and Jalen get into rhythm over the last couple of weeks, how good is that to have that confidence for them going into this last stretch of the season?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, people have to step up. I think Watley said it best after the game. It's what we've said all year. Nobody cares about your circumstance, so we better figure it out. And our guys, that wide receiver group, figured it out. I mean, the catch Malik made on the flea flicker was unbelievable. I mean, he took that off the ground almost. The catch Moss made off the half roll deep over route was awesome. So, I mean, I think those guys starting to step up is huge for us, and we need them to step up. And I think that's what our football team did, is a whole bunch of people stepped up and found a way to get a win.
Yeah, Coach, I want to follow up on Montana. I mean, what's the biggest challenge in the mindset? Obviously, prepping to play safety, going from that to nickel. What do you feel was the biggest challenge for him?
Well, he's got to learn multiple spots. I mean, he's a guy who's played nickel, free, and boundary for us. And I think he started at all three in the last 2 years. I think he started at nickel versus Tech, or versus Texas last year. He started at boundary safety this week, and he started at free. I believe he started at free a couple times. So, he's done it all. And that's what's the challenge, is you have to learn all three spots and be able to play it efficiently and effectively. It just shows you the versatility he has in his game. Shows you he can cover people, that he's physical enough, and that he's savvy enough to play free. That he has all of those skill sets, which is why he was another guy that, in year one, just like Keith, that, I think we hit on early in the process. And he's not just a good player, he's a really good person, hard worker, he loves the game, studies, he checks a lot of boxes.
Hey, Coach, going back to that using other coaches' inspiration topic, Rich Rodriguez is obviously considered one of the pioneers of the modern college offense. He's a real innovator. Two-parter. One, did you get a chance to cross paths with him when he was at Arizona and you were a GA here? And two, how much respect do you have for him as a program builder and an innovator?
Yeah, I got to actually cross paths with him a lot. He opened the doors for me to go down there and study with their offensive staff. And very similar to how they opened the doors here for me. And I would go down there and I would try to steal as much as I could. He was one of the innovators in the zone read world with the quarterback, the innovators in the RPO world, taking, the game to being extended triple option. He was one of the first people to do that. And what's impressive about him is, some people have just, almost reinvented the game and then got stagnant. He kind of reinvented the game, then has always stayed kind of a step ahead of the game as well. He hasn't just said, well, I did this, so I'm going to keep doing this. He has his belief, and what he believes in his style of play will work forever. Come off the ball, knock the opponent backwards, quarterback read a defensive end to get your hat right. I mean, it's a math problem that will work till the end of time. And he knows what he is. He knows what it takes to win. His teams play really, really hard. His teams usually overachieve because they feed off of his passion, and you can see that on their tape. So you can see them getting better as a football team. So I have a lot of respect for Coach Rodriguez.
The penalties. One of the most penalized teams now in Power 4 football, and I know that you have the officials at practices, and there are not a lot of flags thrown at your practices. I can attest. So, are some of these ticky-tacky? What do you make of the totality of it?
I couldn't tell you. If I knew, I'd try to fix it. Like I said, we have officials at practice. They throw flags. I address it when they throw flags. We talk through it. We're getting more thrown on game day, which is unfortunate. And like I said, part of it is, we do have some young guys out there, and a lot of these flags right now are unfortunately on our younger guys who are kind of learning and a little bit it's the first time they've made a mistake, or first time they've committed a penalty, or first time they're on kickoff return, or they're new to the pass rush and they get hands to the face, whatever that is. So hopefully some of those kind of slowly go away. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Our teams haven't been very penalized in our first 2 years here. This hasn't been an issue. So I don't know, not doing anything different. So that's the kind of the frustrating part, is we're not doing anything different with how we, go through penalties. So it's just not ideal.
Kenny, with you obviously being in a more administrative role this week, obviously I'm assuming you're going to be more of kind of a rah-rah person for the entire athletic department this week. Women's basketball opening night, men's basketball tomorrow, volleyball on Wednesday, hockey back home for the first time in over a month on Friday and Saturday. What is your message to Sun Devil fans as they're obviously enjoying the football week off, but there is a whole lot of action across Tempe over the next few days?
How about our volleyball team? Our volleyball team, I went to the game last week. They're unbelievable. Watching them communicate and cheer for each other and the poise. That's an unbelievable team. I'm really excited about, I may try to get out depending on to the Saturday hockey game. I think it's at home, right? Yeah. So I may try to get out there because Saturday we have off as a staff. So we'll see if that actually works out. Really, it's not my choice; it's my son's choice. So if he wants to, and he's still 3.5, so I don't know if that's on his list. But if he wants to go, I'll definitely want to go with him there. So yeah, it's exciting. We got a lot of good coaches in this organization. A lot of really, really good coaches. A lot of really good programs.
Kind of following up Greg's question about stealing things from other coaches. Are there unwritten rules that we don't know about reaching out to other coaches and learning from them? Can you now reach out to old Pac-12 coaches that wouldn't have taken your call before? What are the rules of stealing? Have you ever talked to a coach and they said, no, I'm not talking to you about this? How does those things work that we don't know about?
Yeah, that happens all the time. Some people, found something really good and they won't tell anybody, or they'll tell you half of it. They'll be like, this is what we do. And then you're leave the conversation there's a lot missing on this bone right here. There's a lot left. So I think everybody's a little bit different. I'm one that just wants to be the best. So I probably overshare. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. So I probably give out too much information. I probably try to seek too much information. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell somebody no. That's not, if somebody asks a question, I want to be able to help them. So I probably give out too much. And like I said, I try to reach out to people that will help me as well. But there is somebody, you don't call somebody that you're going to play in the next season. And towards the end of the year, you don't call somebody you're going to play in the next 2 years. That's kind of an unwritten rule is what do you want them to tell you? But the funny thing with that is all the coaches move around so much. It's what's happening anyways? You have no clue which offensive coordinator is going to be where in 2 years from today. But, if you're on the schedule, I remember I was at Memphis and we were playing Missouri, and I met up with a buddy at Missouri, and one of their coaches came in, not one of their full-time guys, one of their assistants. And he was distraught that I was there because we played him the next year. I'm like, I'll leave. It's okay. I don't need to be. And I left because it was you can't fraternize with the enemy. I'm like, I got you. I'm out of here. I won't stay here. But that's just, everybody's a little bit different with that, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. Thanks, Coach. Thank you.